This is Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.
I shudder thinking how the world can be so cruel. I lend my voice to those who can't. It's time we try, it's time we care, it's time we stand. It starts with a voice.
Welcome back to the Special Chronicles show. My name is Daniel Smikowski. I'm the founder of Special Chronicles, a Special Olympics Southern Tribal International Global Messenger, and a SOSA ambassador at United Airlines in Chicago. This is episode 493 and season 3, part 10 of our Unified at Work series, which features conversations about the meaning of inclusive employment. The Unified at Work series is sponsored by Bridge, one of United's business resource groups that is connecting people of all abilities. You can book your travel today at united.com or on the award-winning United app, and visit specialchronicles.com for links to follow Special Chronicles on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Make sure to also to subscribe, rate, and review this podcast, Special Chronicles, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure to subscribe, and also you can subscribe to our channel on YouTube to watch the live stream video episodes and sign up for our newsletter to receive exclusive bonus content. Again, specialchronicles.com for links to subscribe and follow. And specialchronicles.com/meet SOSAs is where you can hear our playlist with all of our other SOSA podcasts. And now our guest this week on the Special Chronicles show and our Unified at Work series is David Thompson from United's Houston hub. So please put your virtual hands together as we welcome David to the Special Chronicles show and our Unified at Work series. Welcome, David.
Hello, everybody.
Good to have you on the show, David. I know you and a lot of your other colleagues down in Houston have been looking forward to being on this podcast. And right off the bat, we want to let our listeners know if any time during this episode, you probably know because this is season 3, part 10 of our Unified at Work series. So you probably know for the past month, we've had David's colleagues, and so it's ambassador colleagues in Houston on. So you probably know this, but if you're just tuning in to this episode right now, we want to let you know if any time throughout this episode that we say SOSA, we want to let you know that means Special Olympics Service Ambassador, and you can meet more of United Airlines Service Ambassadors at specialchronicles.com/meet SOSAs to listen to our exclusive podcast playlist of conversations. So David, before we get into much more of your story, why don't you introduce yourself to our listeners, tell us what disability you were diagnosed with, your role in our Special Olympics movement, what state you're from, and what your job is at United Airlines.
Hi, my name is David Thomas, and I play Special Olympics. I got a job at United, and I got another job at Sam's Club, and I don't know what my disability is. I don't know.
That's okay.
Unsocialized or something.
All right, that's okay. Well, we're going to hear much more of your story in the next couple of segments, where, as I'm sure a lot of our listeners know, if you've been listening to this Unified at Work series on the Special Chronicles show for the past few years, then you know that like David and myself and the other service ambassadors, all involvement as athletes and athlete leaders in Special Olympics is the foundation to our jobs. And at United Airlines, and so that's why we're going to after this full sponsor break, we'll get into David, your story in Special Olympics, and then we'll get into David's unified employment journey coming to United Airlines in the third segment after that. So don't go away. Our conversation with David Thomas from United's Houston hub will continue after this first break right here on SpecialChronicles.com. We'll be right back. We're going to take a quick break from our conversation today to learn how you can become a Special Chronicles supporter so we can continue to produce this podcast. Support for Special Chronicles comes from listeners like you. As an independent public media podcast, Special Chronicles will always be there for you. Now we're asking you to be there for us. As a nonprofit independent media organization, we can only make programs like Special Chronicles with listener support. Our programs provide weekly, candid, honest, and inspiring conversations about the people with disabilities community that creates awareness, support, and advocacy within each week's episode. Listeners tell us our shows are an enjoyable and necessary podcast for the intellectual and developmental disability community and everyone else who is able to listen to stories about life from a different angle. Please, if you and your family love our weekly podcast, make a one-time, monthly, or annual gift of thanks today. Support this podcast at specialchronicles.com/give. That's specialchronicles.com/give. And now, back to the show to continue the conversation today. And back to the show. You're listening to the Special Chronicles show. This is episode 493 and season 3, part 10 of our Unified at Work series. We are, this week, we are concluding, this is, I guess you could call it the season 3 finale of our Unified at Work series, but don't worry, we will probably have some more Unified at Work episodes and of this podcast. So David, let's continue, and as I said in the previous segment, our involvement as athletes in Special Olympics is the foundation to what we're able to do off the field, such as looking at service ambassadors at United. So take us back and tell us how you first got involved in Special Olympics.
Well, just want to know, I started getting involved in Special Olympics when I was in Michigan in 2000. In the fall 2006, I started playing floor hockey and starting to fit in. And during that, I started playing track and fields, bowling. And during the years, I played soccer and I enjoyed it. And when I moved, to Florida to this, I tried to do other things like I tried volleyball in Texas, and I played basketball for the first time, and I really enjoyed basketball. And right now, this year, I'm doing bocce ball.
Awesome. I want to highlight on a few things that you said. One is you said that you just started bocce ball, and hopefully either later this year or next year, my mom and I are going to be starting unified bocce. And then you said that you also compete in basketball, and I also compete in basketball as well. And then you said, just to get it, just so I understand it right, you said you first started in Special Olympics in Michigan, right? And then did you move to Florida, and now you're in Texas? Is that, did I get that right?
Yes, it is.
So from Michigan to Florida to Texas. So for our listeners will know that the USA Games just happened in Florida a couple months ago, and then I want to say, well, by the time our listeners are going to hear, we'll be recording this in the middle of August. Our listeners are going to hear this at the end of September. So for the time that we're recording this, the Unified Cup happened in Detroit a couple weeks ago, but now by the time you all hear this, it'll be a couple months ago. So, so there was just in You before you competed in Texas, you were in Florida and Michigan. So there was the USA Games and the Unified Cup for Special Olympics. So kind of two big events that happened where you were from. So that's exciting. As we continue to kind of share your story, tell us about your early years. What were some of the challenges, but then also the joys and accomplishments because of your disability? What were some of the challenges and joys in your early years, if you're going to take a listeners back to your early years?
I really don't remember the challenges and stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I do challenges and stuff, I just figure it out on my own.
That's good. And then what are some of the joys and accomplishments that you've had since being involved in Special Olympics?
Well, in 2018, I was chosen to go to the USA Games for soccer. I played hard and I won second place silver medal, and
Awesome.
that was enjoyment.
Awesome. You said, just so I heard this right, you said you went to the USA Games was that in 2018 in Seattle?
Yes, it is.
Awesome. So you've competed at the, in addition to at the state level, you competed at the national level, right? With other athletes from across the country.
Yep.
And what sport did you say that you when you competed at the USA Games in Seattle?
Yep.
Did you?
Yeah, we played soccer in Washington.
Awesome. And you said you got a silver medal. Awesome. That must have been really exciting to play. So you mentioned in the beginning of this something about some of the sports that you compete in. Tell us what if you were to pick it might be hard to pick a favorite, but if you want to pick a favorite, what's the favorite sport that you have competed in?
I really don't know. I think I enjoyed all of them, like softball and soccer, and I also enjoyed basketball too.
Awesome. And is there any particular reason why you enjoy those sports like basketball and softball?
And think I have fun doing it or something.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I know it's a lot of fun to get on the field, to get on the basketball court, and to play. How did you first get involved in? As I'm sure a lot of our listeners know, if you've been listening to this podcast a while, you know that sports is one part of Special Olympics, but then we also have leadership and health and education programs. So for the athlete leadership programs, how did you first become an athlete leader with giving speeches and being an athlete ambassador for Special Olympics?
Well, during last month, I saw one of my teammates playing in Houston, and I met this guy named Sean. I got his email address, and he emailed me some stuff, and went to some fun things, like I did Top Golf.
Awesome.
Yep. And then I did that KMT thing in high school like last 2 weeks ago, and I had a fun time doing it.
Awesome. Well, we're going to go ahead and take another short break. When we come back from this sponsor break, we are going to get into your story, your journey coming to United Airlines as a service ambassador, and we will get to kind of take our listeners through that journey and have you show what it's like to work as a service ambassador at United Airlines in Houston. So our guest is David Thomas from United's Houston hub, and our conversation with David will continue after the break right here on Special Chronicles.
Support for Special Chronicles comes from ComEd. Special Chronicles is proud to partner with the ComEd Energy Force Ambassador Program. The Energy Force is the country's first energy efficiency education program designed for and taught by people with disabilities. ComEd is powering lives, and really is powering us here at Special Chronicles to keep the lights on and our technology is powered on. As ComEd powers the lives of us, they are literally giving a voice to people with special needs. We thank ComEd for the generous support of our mission at Special Chronicles. Learn more at specialchronicles.com/ComEd. That's specialchronicles.com/ComEd.
Listening to the Special Chronicles show. This is episode 493 in season 3, part 10 of our Unified at Work series. Our guest is David Thomas from United's Houston hub. And so now, David, in this segment, this part of the podcast, we are going to take our listeners through your journey of working at United Airlines. So let's begin with and have you share with our listeners how you first heard about this job as a service ambassador and this new inclusive employment opportunity at United Airlines. How did you first hear about this job?
Well, my mom helped me up, and HA set me up, and they asked me if I can do United Airlines, and I can say yes, I could give it a try.
Did you ever, and listeners, if you've been listening for a while, you might have heard me say this for a while, but did you ever think that you would have a job at a major airline, that you would ever work in the aviation industry for United Airlines? Like, did you ever think that this type of job was possible?
I never thought I would work in an airport.
Yeah. Same here. I never before I started with, I'm sure as a lot of you listeners know, me and 3 other athletes in Chicago were the original service ambassadors, and I know 3 years ago I didn't think that this was possible. So after first hearing about this job, take a listeners through what was the next step. What did you do next? Did you go for a job interview, or what was the next step after first hearing about this job and saying that you were interested in applying for the job as a service ambassador at United Airlines? What was the next step? If and take our listeners through this story.
Well, the next step is they did a job interview with me, and then after that, they did an invited party to welcome all of us to the United Airlines, and after that, I got a mentor to train me.
Awesome.
To explore all around the airport.
Awesome. I want to highlight a couple of things you said. One is you said that you will attended a welcome event, right? And in Houston, and at that welcome event, that was where you got to meet myself and the other. So all 4 of us, original service ambassadors in Chicago, where the Special Olympic Service Ambassador program got started. When we flew down to Houston to meet you guys all and to introduce ourselves, can you kind of tell us a little bit more about that welcome event? What was that like?
It was great meeting new people and stuff.
Neat. And so then after that welcome event, you said that you were paired up with a mentor and you went through some training. Can you tell us a little bit about the training process? Yeah,
went through some training, like if a service ambassador means helping customers, showing them directions, and they trained me for that. I did training in the lobbies, and then I did training at FIS.
Good. And the FI, you said FIS?
FIS.
Can you tell our listeners who might not know what that is, what the FIS is?
I don't know what it stands for, but I heard it's when you get to show customers where to put their bags, and if they don't have bags, you show them where to go and stuff.
Good, and I'm sure that's a lot of help. So then after the training, I'm sure that training probably. So just to kind of give a little a timeline, you're telling the welcome event, and we'll hire it in October 2021. So and then you went through the next few months, some training, and so now we're recording this in August 2022, but our listeners will hear this at the end of September. Our listeners might even hear this in October 2022. So we're coming up on your 1 year anniversary, 1 year work anniversary of working at United Airlines as a Special Olympic Service Ambassador, or SOSA for short. Share with us now, kind of after you've gone through the training, kind of take us through a typical day of what you do on the job.
When I'm in the lobby, I just stand here and if they need help tagging bags, I can help them tag bags. And during that, I got pins. During that, I got flight pins for the kids that looks like this, and help them.
Awesome.
Give them to the children. And
let me spotlight you so you can show it to if you are listening to the audio podcast, go check out the video on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, and you can see David, what he's showing you on screen, on camera. If you want to show the viewers. Yeah, so like those little wing, you said it's a wing pin that you give to kids?
Yeah.
Pilots give to kids?
Yeah.
Awesome.
And during that, I always greet them and said, "Hello, welcome to United," with a friendly personality.
Awesome. Yeah. That's. I'm sure that's not only you, but I think all of us service ambassadors give that friendly personality to all of the people that are all the passengers that are traveling on United. What now that we're approaching your 1 year anniversary of working at United Airlines, what do you enjoy most about your job as a service ambassador at United? What do you enjoy most?
Well, the things I enjoy most is I can do a good job by myself and socializing with the other agents and the other service ambassadors.
Good. Awesome. And I'm sure your managers and supervisors and the mentors that you work with probably enjoy working and interacting with you as well, right?
Yeah, I also enjoy working with the other mentors and the managers like Myrtalise, Stephanie, and Shanalee, Gracie, and the other mentors.
Awesome. Is there, before we go and take our last sponsor break and get to the last segment, is there anything else that you want to say that we might have forgotten to say that you want to say about what it's like to work at United Airlines as a service ambassador?
Think that's it. But I would like to say something about Special Olympics.
Yeah.
I played Special Olympics and I win all kind of medals for the years, and my total of medals is 75 all total.
Awesome. Yeah, I probably have just as many medals. I haven't counted how many medals I received, but probably I probably have one because you said you started in 2006. I started, I think, in 2005, so kind of around maybe a year before you started, so around the same amount of same time. So probably in that, since you started in 2006 and I started competing in 2005, we've both probably have the same amount of medals over the years. We're going to go ahead and take one last sponsor break. When we come back, we will get to our final segment and let listeners know how they can get involved in the Special Olympics, how they can book the travel with United, and that final question that we have that we conclude all the podcasts with. So folks listening, don't go away. We will conclude this. We will get to some final thoughts right after this final break. Our guest is you're listening to the Special Chronicles show. This is season 3, Pt10, season 3 finale of our Unified at Work series. Our guest is David Thomas from United's Houston hub, and we will be back right after this final break right here on SpecialChronicles.com. We'll be right back.
Friends, podcast listener friends, I'd like to take a brief moment to let you know about how awesome StreamYard is. StreamYard is the easiest way to create professional live streams. StreamYard is a live streaming studio in your browser. Interview guests, share your screen, and much more. Stream directly to Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and other platforms. Sign up for StreamYard and get $10 in credit with our referral link at specialchronicles.com/StreamYard. That's specialchronicles.com/StreamYard. You see the link right below on the screen here, and also will be in the show notes in the description below. But all of us at Special Chronicles, we love StreamYard. I've got a coffee mug I'm drinking coffee out of. Got a t-shirt on. I've got a sweatshirt. This StreamYard Puddles plush duck. Puddles the duck here in the studio. And just really love it. It makes really love StreamYard. It makes it easy to connect with guests. Just send guests the link to join StreamYard and easily have a professional logo and banners and graphics. And it just makes it easy to pre-record, to live stream on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. Really love StreamYard. It's helped to make the audio podcasts and the video versions of the audio podcasts that I've been doing for the past 13 years. It's helped to make the video versions up to the next level, to a more professional level, while also making it easy to live stream. So all of us at Special Chronicles love StreamYard. Once again, if you want to sign up with StreamYard, specialchronicles.com/StreamYard. That's specialchronicles.com/StreamYard to sign up and get $10 in credit with our referral link. I hope you all will sign up for StreamYard, and happy live streaming. And until then, sign up for StreamYard and get $10 in credit with our referral link at specialchronicles.com/StreamYard. That's specialchronicles.com/StreamYard. And now back to the show. Our guest this week on the Special Chronicles show is David Thomas from United's Houston hub. This is episode 493 of the Special Chronicles show in season 3, Pt10 of a Unified at Work series. And now, David, as we come to a close, we want to let our listeners know how they can get involved in Special Olympics Texas. How can they get involved in Special Olympics Texas?
When I move and get involved, I just go on Facebook and write them up and said I'm new to Special Olympics, who I can contact, and
Awesome.
And they gave me the info, and that's what I know how to do if I move to another state or city.
Awesome. Well, if our listeners want, and I've got another way that might be helpful for you or for any of our listeners. If you're listening and you are in Texas, you can go to SOTX.org. If you're watching the video, then you see it on the screen. If you're listening to the audio podcast, go look in the description below, and you will see how you can get involved in Special Olympics Texas, SOTX.org. And if you don't live in Texas, or if you, like David, have moved from Michigan or Florida to Texas, if you, just like David, have moved and you want to connect with your local Special Olympics program, you can go to specialolympics.org. That's specialolympics.org, and find your local Special Olympics program to get involved anywhere in the U.S. or across the globe. And we'll put links in the show notes to get involved. As we want to just let you know that the Unified at Work series is sponsored by Bridge, one of United's business resource groups that's connecting people of all abilities. You can book your travel today at united.com or on the award-winning United app. And since David and I are both service ambassadors at United Airlines, we're paid to say that. And since Bridge and United Airlines is sponsoring this Unified at Work series on this podcast, then we're kind of doubly paid to say that. So we'll include links in the show notes on specialchronicles.com for episode 493. If you want to, we'll put links to united.com where you can book your travel today. Or just go to your app store and search for the United Airlines app. And if you want to listen to more conversations like you heard today, you can listen to our Unified at Work series on specialchronicles.com/unified at work. And if you want to listen to more conversations with other Special Olympic Service ambassadors, just like David, listen to any of his colleagues in Houston, as well as the service ambassadors, the SOSAs in Denver, as well as us for original ambassadors in Chicago. You can listen to our playlist on Special Chronicles or on Spotify and meet more of United's Special Olympic Service ambassadors, more of United SOSAs at specialchronicles.com/meet SOSAs. And the link to the playlist will be in the show notes as well. Well, David, it's been a joy having you on this podcast. And before we get to that final question, do you have any final thoughts that you would like to, any final thoughts on your time here today on the Special Chronicles show that you'd like to share with our listeners?
Think not. Couldn't think of any.
That's good. Awesome. Well, it's been awesome to have you on this podcast. And we got one final question before we let you get back to the rest of your Sunday. Before we get to before we let you get back to the rest of your week. And to introduce a final question, we've got a bumper. So let's go ahead and roll that bumper.
We're not just athletes.
We are the ambassadors of an uprising.
Peaceful protesters.
In a rebellion against anyone
who has a fear of difference.
Difference.
Our demands are
equality,
dignity,
and the recognition of our
shared humanity. We will not stop
or accept anything less.
Today, our world is
more divided than ever.
And coming together has never been more urgent.
The revolution
is inclusion.
Find out more at jointherevolution.org.
And David and our listeners, as I'm sure a lot of you know, if you've been listening to a while, you know, inclusion and the inclusion revolution is a big part of Special Olympics. It's a big part also here at Special Chronicles, as well as inclusion, and the inclusion revolution is a big part at United Airlines as well. And so, David, like we do with all the guests, at least for the past few years, is asking one final question, and we'll conclude this episode with that, with you as well, and ask you, what does inclusion mean to you?
Let me see. Inclusion means to me, I think, everything like if there's a sport that I want to play, I want to include in it and want to include playing my best as I can in tournaments and stuff, and include winning more medals as I can.
Awesome. Well, that's a perfect way to wrap up this episode. It's been a joy, and hopefully, David, we can meet up again in person, or maybe it'll be awesome to do a live podcast. Maybe sometime I can fly down to Houston, because like you, we have the same travel benefits like anybody else at United, so we can fly and stand by anytime that we want. So maybe someday we'll have to do a live podcast together. Or it would be awesome to have a SOSA meetup with all of us SOSA ambassadors. So maybe we'll have to figure out how we can make that happen. So anytime that you want to come back on this podcast, you're always welcome to. And and have a great week. And for those listening, wanted to just let you know, again, visit specialchronicles.com for links to follow Special Chronicles on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And make sure to join in the conversation where you can leave your feedback there, and also to subscribe, rate, and review this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Please subscribe and leave us a 5-star rating and review. It goes a long way to let more people out there know about this podcast. If you can leave us a 5-star rating and subscribe to this podcast, so you never miss a new episode. We have new episodes drop every Monday at 6 p.m. Central Time. So we'll be back next week with, I think we're going to be featuring a town hall that myself and Kyle from Chicago and Hannah from Denver, we talk about our experiences at the USA. So we have that and some more exciting new episodes. So you guys listening in. Thank you for listening. Thank you so much. And remember to subscribe, rate, and review this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. It goes a long way. And we'll see you next week right here on specialchronicles.com. Have a great week. Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Special Chronicles Shows podcast. Visit specialchronicles.com to follow Special Chronicles on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube, and don't forget to hit the bell to be notified of new episodes. Also, subscribe to our newsletter mailing list to sign up for our updates and get exclusive content delivered to your inbox. Remember to do what you do with these podcasts. Subscribe or follow and rate and review Special Chronicles on Apple Podcasts, the iHeartRadio app, or wherever you get your podcasts. Finally, please share this episode and all of our podcasts with your friends and family to help us grow our audience and reach 5,000 downloads of our audio podcasts and over 14,000 average monthly listeners. Have a great week, and we'll see you back here next week with exciting new guests. See you next week.
Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.